In less than 2 weeks, Chief Justice John Roberts will swear in President Obama for his second term in office. As many as 800,000 visitors will be in Washington for the inauguration, and crews are hard at work for the inaugural platform outside the Capitol. It's a big day, and the president set a big agenda to match it. He plans to tackle immigration, gun control, climate change, and tax reform in his second term. And with 4 years in office under his belt, this president knows what he wants, and he's confident he'll get it. Joining me now is Democratic strategist Margie Omero and Victoria DeFrancesco Soto, a fellow at the University of Texas and an MSNBC contributor. Thank you both for joining me tonight.
Good evening, Reverend.
Thanks, Rev.
Victoria, how does the president keep the momentum from his reelection going into the second term?
He keeps the momentum going by focusing on the big picture, and in particular, the big global picture. So we know that in 2012 and 2008, he got elected to foresee change, and in particular, change from the Bush-era policies of U.S. involvement in the Middle East. So we saw that he's building his dream team, bringing on Hagel and Kerry, in trying to effect that change, to make good on that promise that he put forward in 2008 to scale down the U.S. involvement. The American public wants it, and he's going to deliver in the second term.
Now, Margie, what is interesting about the two appointments that Victoria just mentioned, Hagel and Brennan, are both people the president has worked with, that he seems to trust. They're allies. It's not what we heard in the first term of Lincoln's model of team of rivals. These are not rivals. These are people close to the president. Changing strategy here?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think the president has had people who have different points of view from himself and from each other. I mean, we saw that in the case with Secretary Gates and Vice President Biden, who recommended against making the call on Osama bin Laden, but the president made it anyway. So I think this is consistent with his strategy so far. I also think it's important to look at how the president keeps the momentum in terms of bringing everyone together. His style in terms of bringing people together, both within his administration and across the aisle, and voters. I mean, voters, they selected Obama. They voted for Obama in 2008. They believed in him, and they believed in change. And this last time around, they voted for him because they really believed in his policies and the vision he had going forward.
That's the point, Victoria, isn't that they believe in what he's doing and believe in him going forward. 57% say he won the fiscal cliff fight. In the last century, only 4 presidents have won 2 elections with more than 50% of the vote. President Obama, Reagan, Eisenhower, and President Franklin Roosevelt. The question is, can he use this momentum? Can he use this support to get his agenda done? That's his challenge.
Well, and the challenge is getting it done within the next 2 years, because come 2014, the midterm elections, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if there's going to be another Republican surge. So the president has to get that list of foreign policy demands, the list of immigration, and the list of gun control done in the next 18 months, not even 2 years. And I think immigration is going to be another one of the big issues. Gun control, but one caution that I have with gun control is also very much controlled at the state level. So while we may see an assault weapons ban, at the end of the day, it's our capitals like Austin or Phoenix or Tallahassee that really oversee what happens with guns.
Now, Margie, when you look at second terms, it's generally pretty hard to get things done but it can happen. I mean, Ronald Reagan dealt with tax reform. Bill Clinton balanced the budget. George Bush tried to privatize Social Security, wasn't successful. Some of us are glad about it. So it's a tricky thing. You can get things done in the second term, but it also is difficult.
Yeah, I think the president is in a good position. He has, right now, he has 53% approval rating. His approval rating's been going up since the election. You have Republicans continuing to have really low ratings. A majority disapprove of how Boehner handled the fiscal cliff negotiations. Incredibly low ratings for Congress. You have about 3/4 of the electorate who say that politics right now is doing some serious harm, while at the same time they give the president strong ratings. So they're really taking aim at Congress. And I think all of that leads to a situation where voters have really had it now with Congress, and they want to see everyone come to the table, and that gives the president a real edge.
You know, Victoria, let me ask you this quickly, that we've seen after 4 years in office that this president, we're seeing more and more of him as a person. One moment that sticks out is his emotional speech to his team after his win. Watch this.
What you guys have done means that the work that I'm doing is important. And I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of all of you. And
we're seeing the emotions that we didn't see before as we go into the second term, Victoria.
You know, and as voters, we act with both our hearts and our minds. And I think what Obama does is he puts forward that combination that you can agree with his policies, you see that ideological vision, but behind that ideological vision is a person, is someone who has empathy for those of us who are not in leadership positions. And that's the winning combination that we see.
Victoria DeFrancesco Soto and Margie Omero, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ahead, civil rights activists